Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Desire Talks podcast. I am your host, Ethan Bradbury, aka MrBritainX. This is the podcast where we talk to sex workers. Oh my God, we talk to sex workers. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? It's pretty funky. It's pretty on the edge. It's naughty. Oh my God. Yeah. Today we have a special guest. He's actually a really good friend of mine. He's pretty well known, especially on the UK scene. It's Viking Will. Yeah, he's one of my best mates in the industry. He's such a down-to-earth, chilled out guy, and he just happens to be a gigantic person who has this Viking / Jason Momoa look about him. And he's just dead humble, he's dead chill. And and he's really great to have a pint with. So, we're just gonna have some chill chats now, find out a little bit more about Will, and let's find out what makes him tick. All right, let's get him on. All right, everyone. So here we have Viking Will. Say hello, Will.
Hello, Will.
Right,
sorry, you should have been more specific.
I should have been more specific. So I have actually said to everyone that me and you know each other quite well. And we've hung around quite a lot of times, haven't we?
Yes, we do. I say inside and outside of work, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we connected through the industry, didn't we?
We did. I don't think we were aware of each other before, even though we were fitfluencers, I believe, at the same time.
Yeah,
well, you more so than me.
Well, yeah, to be fair, we haven't really gone into that. But you know what? We might go into that a little bit now. So you were a fitfluencer before the whole sex work thing.
Yes, I wasn't very good at it.
No. All right.
No.
So what kind of stuff were you fitfluencing?
Oh, well, I was combining it with my personal training because I came from a natural bodybuilding background and went into being a competitive natural powerlifter. So I was just combining the general consensus of healthy eating, positive attitude, very, should we say, careful training protocols, because obviously people see what I lift and think that doesn't look very careful, but my training is very careful. It's just applying the weights I use. It's just applying it when it's required on the build-up program. So I don't advocate people like lifting weight for weight's sake, and I wasn't first basing or anything like that. It was just trying to make sure that people would want to come on board for the coaching and the personal training if they were close enough to my locality, should we say, where I lived in Yorkshire. But I was just trying to combine it, make it more of like a sexy, edgy social media and showing off my training in a very honest manner. I didn't really do like a lot of professional videos or anything like that or sexy captions. It was just showing honestly what I was. And I don't think it really hit the mark really, because I never had an Instagram with more than 2,000 followers prior to doing everything I do now. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're kind of doing the personal training influencing then. And then yours, you obviously do a bit of competing now with your powerlifting.
I do.
Were you doing powerlifting back then, or is that something new?
I was doing powerlifting. I did start it around about 6 years ago. My last bodybuilding competition was at the tail end of 2015. And I was getting very frustrated with that because it was hard to get better than I was. And I didn't want to stop being natural, to be honest, but I still wanted a decent goal to push towards. And I was always really, really good at squats and deadlift. So I thought, you know what, I might as well just join a drug-free powerlifting federation. The IPF didn't look like a lot of fun by comparison, excuse me, to the ABPU where I presently competed, should I say. And the IPF is the much more well-known one, British Powerlifting Federation, BPF. I think it was called GBPF back in the day. But I did one of the competitions and it just felt like I was lifting at school assembly. It was not a lot of fun. Whereas where I compete, there's a lot of heavy metal playing. There's a lot of scary-looking, hairy, lumberjack-looking dudes sniffing ammonia, throwing chalk around the place, slapping each other on the back, and I get involved in all of that. It's a lot of fun. So yeah.
Obviously, you were into the whole fitness thing back then, and you still are now. But
yeah,
the career change.
20 years.
Yeah, so the career change though, from you obviously doing the personal training and whatnot. What made you think, do you know what, I want to make porn? What made you think to do that?
Well, when we say porn, I'm saying a lot of people associate porn as a boy and a girl doing a scene and some very cheesy elevator music playing in the background. I'm not saying that's officially what I do every time. I really have to find some cool samples for the elevator music, of course. But when lockdown happened, I'd been playing around with doing OnlyFans and getting some content up that people might want to see, and just finding out what people, obviously working within your comfort zones, producing what is true to yourself, but finding out what people want to see from you, within the constraints of what you like to produce, should we say. But when lockdown happened, and I obviously was not able to personal train people anymore, and even the online side of it dropped like a stone.
Yeah, because they had nowhere to train. You couldn't really do online unless it was home.
Literally had no choice. So I like to think that I'm a productive. I was about to say go-getter. I wouldn't class myself as a go-getter, but I like to be occupied. I like to work. I like to work hard, but I like to be productive. So I cannot do that and make any kind of money right now, and I need to make some money. So I just focused my attentions more on the OnlyFans sides of things, boosting my social media, networking, and finding out who else is in my chosen industry at this present point in time, which was around about March, April 2020, and seeing how everybody was getting on, seeing how we can help each other, see how everybody's getting through, how they're making that work. And that seemed like a much more productive end at that time, and it still is. It's something that I've carried forward. But I literally could not do it at all with my personal training and my coaching. I found even when I was in a solvent position where I could offer people to train for free, in the North and Yorkshire, a lot of my clients at the time were like, no, I'll wait until the gym is open. And I didn't know whether to judge myself. I was like, if I didn't get them in a position where they thought applying some attention to their physical fitness and just helping them train at home and get forward. But it looked like I wasn't able to do that. And I was doing very, very well with what I'd chosen to do. So I thought I might as well keep going the OnlyFans side of things and not be distracted by the coaching and the personal training. Well, I couldn't do the personal training, but I focused more on that at that point in time.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've done what a lot of people have done. It's a lot of people were stagnant during the lockdowns and whatnot, and you jumped on the OnlyFans bandwagon and just nailed it. Because when you were doing it, when you were saying March, April, wasn't it? March, April.
Yeah, almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, you were just like the way you were acting and coming across, and the way you were arranging things and stuff. It seemed like you've been doing it already at least a year, at least.
Appreciate you saying that, to be honest. It's hard to remember my mindset at that point in time, but I was doing everything that I'd been advised to do. I've got really good friends within Hannah Blake, who you know. She used to use her real name, but she changed it to Hannah Blake to just separate the personal and the professional.
Yeah.
If you don't know who I mean,
yeah, I know
her by her real name. Anyway. I was very careful not to say her real name. I shouldn't have done. But she gave me so much advice. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the advice these days that she provided seems more helpful to female creators rather than males, and I'll get into that later on if you wish to discuss it. But doing share for share, helping each other out, networking with other creators, how to apply yourself on the social media platforms available, which was Twitter and Instagram that I was using, and I still use majoritively Twitter right now. But I almost went completely like, this is what I'm doing. I'm scheduling my day. I've got another friend called her Instagram tag is Magic. PSST Magic. The T replaced a Y. So can we swear on this podcast? Can you say the word? Can you say the word pussy?
Yeah, you say fuck shit.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so she goes by Pussy Magic if we're going to use the proper name. And she advised that I schedule out my day just to make it feel like it was more of like a working day. So, but that wasn't to make me productive and work more. that was to make me work less, because otherwise it felt like I was just sitting on my phone, throwing shit at a wall constantly, seeing what would stick, but I was actually burning out my brain and therefore my body as a result of just being on the phone too much, trying to work. And I'm sure you've had days like that. I'm sure you've had those 16-hour days.
I still fall back into that now and again, and I don't know. I think maybe it's because winter. I'm allowing myself just to be on my phone at bad times, but I think once it starts perking up, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go for a walk for an hour or two. While I'm walking, I'll be doing my admin. I'll schedule my posts. I'm actually quite looking forward to it. I don't know about you. This is a bit of a tangent. When the summer picks up, I think, obviously our office is anywhere we choose to be, isn't it?
Yes.
I might just like go off to the beach and just go sit on the beach and just work.
Or get yourself a cabana with a few Negronis and whatnot. And that sounds.
I just realized, I thought, why am I always like just sitting at home? I could just go sit in the middle of a countryside or go to a beach, or
Honestly, you could because, put it this way, when it came to like coaching and the more personal training side of things, I remember a quite adept powerlifter and coach saying, I see these new coaches rocking up and buying their £6 all frills coffee at Costa, rocking up on the laptop to put together their training program for their one client, invest in an office. Now I do see his point. I see his point. I really do. As far as managing your costs and whatnot, is this an essential thing to go into town, to go to the coffee shop, buy a very expensive coffee, sit down just for that one client that you're going to earn for, and God knows what to charge.
Yeah.
But with what we do, with anything that we earn, it's literally all managed through social media and how we apply the content once it's produced, wherever we produce that content. So keeping ourselves in a good frame of mind, in the very, should we say, invigorated environment, I think that is a wonderful thing to do. Get yourself in the place that you want to be. It could be surrounded by trees, listening to birds. It could be whatever you want to be. Obviously, you'd be listening to the waves. It would be a vast departure from what you're presently doing where you presently live. It would be a welcome change, and I believe your productivity would soar, provided that you didn't bring yourself 8 honeys and dudettes with you and just started like living it up and turned it into a bit of a waste party. So as long as you make it about work and just like chill out, I think you'll have a really good week.
To be fair, you're saying that last autumn we done a very impromptu OnlyFans workers little long weekend. We just went to Tenerife. Thought, let's get a villa. Let's just go we'll all go there. We'll make loads of content. We'll do our bits of admin we needed to. All went out the window.
How much did you get done?
Fuck all. Like, I think had a little private pool, and I think I took a few naked pictures getting in and out of it. And we did one video, one big group video, and that was really hungover. Like so hungover, like the jizz coming out I'm surprised it wasn't powder. It was so dehydrated.
Yeah, I know. It's where you're shooting out cartilage at that point.
Yeah, cartilage. Yeah, it's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Cartilage and steam's coming out at the end.
You know what? It was actually a really hot video. The amount of people who loved that, it was a good video. It was fun, but it just ended up being such a party weekend. And when we were leaving, like a few of us, like Scarlett, who's been on here, she was on it as well. And we were like, next time we're going all inclusive. We're not doing a private villa. We're going to go where all our food's done. We've got all our drinks, because we were like dehydrated, dying in the morning. We're like, shit, we've got no water to drink. We've got no food, nothing. Because we just hadn't, just didn't always go shopping. Like, and it's one of them. So next time we're going to do it's going to be a much more relaxed approach.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, because that's the problem really when you're not planning. I do know how your body reacts to, should we say, the incorrect nutrition and hydration protocols.
Yeah.
Because when I drink and I decide to eat a carb or 3, I turn into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And it is not a pretty sight.
I am the exact same. It's one day of drinking and eating rubbish. It's like, it's a whole different physique on me. Same for yourself. Me and you talked about this many times. We just respond so badly.
And I see some guys or girls, they'll do all that. They'll wake up in better shape.
Yeah, exactly. But actually, this is what I think a lot of people will be interested in, because I've not done this yet. The pressures on men, how we need to look in industry. Do you have this pressure that you think, shit, I put on a few, or I've had a pizza? Like, do you get any?
Now I do and I don't. I think a lot of the pressure comes from myself, which has mitigated a lot of people putting pressure on me, because I've actually stayed within a place I want to be. Because I used to habitually just diet all the time, even when I shouldn't have been dieting, because I wanted to stay lean. I wanted to have my abs out. I settled on the regime of just being keto for a week to 2 weeks, maybe tops 12 days, before I would do a carb load, starting with like sugary cereals, finishing off with like starches towards the end of the day. And my food intake was really low through the week. And then I would have a cheat meal at the end of Saturday when I'd done stripping up in Blackpool for a Adonis Cabaret, because obviously I was in the north, so that's where I performed. And then I would carb up the next day properly. But I was shredded. I was in really good shape, and I could drink like a bottle of wine or some whiskeys at the end of the day. But when I got into a more, should we say, not strictly managed nutrition pattern, and it came to OnlyFans, I actually got myself in really good condition. For me these days, the way that I am, a much more natural way for me to be, because obviously I embrace my demographic and my look now. I tried to do the Clark Kent clean shaven body, tanned, crisp haircut type look, looking like a giant Zac Efron. Unfortunately, there's guys that do that better, and that is them. That I am acting completely against my Samana type when I tried to make myself do that. And a few years ago, I just said, I'm just going to be what I want to be. That didn't necessarily mean that caution went to the wind, but my physique did soften. But
to be fair, when I stumbled on that photo of you from a few years back, where you had that hairstyle, the clean shaven, and the physique, I remember saying to you, I was like, I recognize you now, because you worked with.
Oh, you recognize me from that then?
Yeah, because you worked with Barnesy, didn't you? You done a photo with him.
Yeah, I did.
So for people listening, Simon Barnes is a photographer from down south, and I worked with him back in 2009, 2008.
Yeah. That was in the Hot Snaps photos, the Hot Snaps days. Yeah. And
then I think I seen on his account at some point that picture. And then obviously I've met you. Me and you've been talking. I didn't, but then when you shared that picture, I was like, oh my God,
that was me.
That was you.
Yeah. But that's the thing, people don't recognize me unless I will post that photo myself and say this was me. And like yourself, if you've seen me before, you went, oh, I recognize, I get it now. And you'd really have to look closely at the eyes, etc. But ultimately, I do look like a different person, which is weird when you can.
You look like a clean shaven, like Gaston.
Yeah, I always used to get Gaston, particularly because I habitually used to grow my hair out and then cut it back, grow it out. I've not cut it for about 5 years now, and this is how I prefer it. People think I'm high maintenance. I'm not a very low maintenance. I just learned to brush my hair. But when it comes to shape, this is the thing. If I'd rocked up on OnlyFans, clean shaven, shredded, tan to the absolute brim, and then I allowed myself to get into what I class my worst physique, I imagine I would annoy a lot of fans, because they didn't come to me to see the roly-poly, the big daddy guy. They came to see like a shredded long-haired dude. Or a shredded short-haired dude. And if I then grew out a beard and grew out my hair and grew out their body hair, got a bit paler, let my gut start to build up. And I'm not saying I have, but let's say I totally changed my body because I got lazy. At that point, you'd annoy the people that signed to you because they wanted to see what you originally showed them. The good thing about me is, because I've never been like pinnacle, absolutely shredded 8% body fat when doing OnlyFans, and I've never let myself go too far, because obviously my body does fluctuate depending on my training, what's happening in my life at the time. I can get away with leaning down a bit and also putting on a bit of weight, because I can do either very, very quickly, even without trying. So I think I have that wiggle room where I've never annoyed anybody. The only time I've had a complaint is when someone clearly didn't like my content and he just sent a very shirty message saying, oh, why don't you do this? You lower your price. You're getting old and fat. I think he wanted me to block him and therefore refund him. And I just restricted him. I was like, look, there's no need to say stuff like that. If you're unhappy, you're unhappy. But I imagine he probably signed to a few accounts, screenshotted what he could, and then he was just sending abuse to try and get himself blocked and therefore refunded. I imagine he would have done it to a few because someone pointed out, yeah, he's done the same to me. So I don't think I've ever had a genuine complaint about my body.
Yeah, you do just get some arseholes. I'll be honest, because I find it quite it's really difficult sometimes on the pressures, like difficult on mental health, just the pressures for body image, where I spent probably the past 2 years, I've constantly been dieting, but because I've been constantly dieting and then obviously relaxing on weekends, I was losing muscle mass and getting softer and damaging my metabolism. So I've just spent the past 5-6 months trying to slowly heal my metabolism. Doing so, like, I've stayed in actually all right shape doing it. I'm softer than I normally am, but I've managed to build a good amount of muscle with it. And I was really struggling with it mentally. But the positives I've had from people, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable where I'm like, no, I am going to be lean. I'm going to do another cut now. But I know now it's like you are now. You're like, yeah, I've got leeway. I can relax a little bit because you're still in good shape regardless. People still want to.
Thank you.
Yeah, people still, will be like, yeah, that's a muscular, athletic person. But the pressures of these guys, you've got 6-8 packs, veins popping out everywhere. Personally, I don't even find it attractive. I don't know about you.
I say it's. I can obviously appreciate it because I understand the work that goes in it. When you combine that with someone's genetic code, and you can tell when someone's got just good genetics, and you can tell by the build how hard they have trained and what they've put into it.
Yeah,
because there's a certain density to
you can
a physique.
appreciate it, but what I'm getting at is I want to look like that because I feel the pressures of society. But as a bisexual man, I'm just like, I wouldn't pick that.
Would you not pick that because you know what may come with it, and therefore that would be a difficult person to spend any kind of social time with?
No,
like you can't have a drink. It's hard to.
No, because you're thinking social aspect of dating. I'm actually genuine about even just for a quick shag.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'd prefer someone who's got like a more of a. They're in shape. They train. But if they're a bit softer, fine. For example, muscle bears, they're massive, train, but they've got no abs. I'm like, yeah, it's hot as fuck. If someone just has a normal body, but you can tell they do a bit of exercise, yeah, I'd prefer that over someone who's dick skin shredded.
No, I appreciate that. I've heard it from two camps, from female friends and girls I have dated. They said either they like it or they don't like it. But when they don't like it, it's 50-50 whether they've had experiences with men who look like that in the past and what comes with looking that way. Or they just flat out don't like the look and they said, I'd prefer like someone cuddlier to put my head on at nighttime rather than someone that's like bone dry hard. And I'm like, okay, so there's two ways to look at it. And the former is the dated a bodybuilder who's shredded, but there's been so much work in position to the social life. They might have been in a bad mood because they were hungry or whatever they were doing. So it's been 50-50 on that camp. So it's interesting to hear from yourself. You just don't find it the most attractive.
Don't you think it's weird, though, that I want to look like that? But I have done in the past a bit more where I'm like, I want to look exactly like that, shredded, six-pack, really loads of muscles. But I don't find that attractive.
No.
It's weird.
I don't find that strange at all. I really don't, because obviously it's important to care about yourself. But if you like that and you wanted to look that at all times, some people, I'm not saying this is accurate, but people may denote that an overly narcissistic thing if you're wanting to be with something that reminds you of yourself and it's both. And they're both the same. They're both the same demographic. I mean,
yeah. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm just because you're like, I wasn't prepared for the question. Don't you find it weird that I want to look like that, but I don't want to fuck it? I was like, well, I'm trying to get on board. But people may think it's strange if you want to fuck what you actually want to look like as well. Yeah, it means you might want to fuck yourself.
But to be fair, though, if I had a clone, right, here's a question for you, weird one. If you had a clone, like, so an exact clone, it is you. It's not even a twin. It's a clone.
Yeah.
Like, would you like? I would be like, let's capitalize on this. I don't know what I'd do. Is like, let's do some photo shoots. I'm not saying I'd shag myself because that's just, I don't know.
Hell yeah, I'd do that.
I don't know how now.
Twinning.
It's just a random thing that's popped into my head. I thought,
No, it's a good thought. You've entered the multiverse. Here is the other MrBritainX. Here is the other Viking Will.
Well, there's those twin brothers, isn't there, who actually do OnlyFans, and I'm kind of like, is that a line? That's because there is twin porn, isn't there? Where it's like,
yeah, but are they twins? Are they twins most of the time, or are the two girls that look a lot like each other and have had the same hair job?
I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. I think I've seen it where it's actual twins, but there's guys, isn't there? But there's these two guys, and it's quite funny because they take the photos separately. Have you seen them?
I think I've seen them.
Aren't
they Venezuelan or something? They've got like really crisp, like the British.
Yeah, I think so.
I might be thinking of something different. It was from a couple of years ago.
But yeah, I think they're really nice lads from what I've heard. I've not seen them about in a long time. Maybe they've stopped, but they just used to take photos side by side and then stitch them together and then just post it. And you knew they were different people because one had tattoos on, like, different tattoos to the other.
Yeah.
But they looked identical other than that.
Is that to, stay more within the comfort zone rather than just trying to get your dick looking grandiose next to your twin brother?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like, we are twins, we do this, but we're not stepping that line. And I was like, I kind of get that.
Very fair. Yeah, I'm on board with that because obviously it's a very academic question. I've not been in the position where I've been trying to get hard on in the same room as my brother, so it's never been a thought. But if they were posed with that business idea, let's do a twins OnlyFans, how do we make this comfortable for ourselves?
Yeah.
Well, if that's what they're doing, that makes more sense.
Yeah, each their own. We're just chatting random shite now. This isn't even about you anymore.
Yeah,
we're just bouncing stuff. But let's go back to you then. So talking about OnlyFans, if someone was to go to your OnlyFans, what type of stuff would they see?
Okay, so it would be majoritively a lot of solo stuff on my main wall. I also do collaborations with other male creators. I also do collaborations with female creators, but that is mitigated on the main wall. There may be a short clip, almost like a trailer, but that would be more for a higher price pay-per-view. If I'm going to do a boy-girl video, if I'm going to do a sex video, that would be like a very limited length trailer. So it's a bit of content and it looks hot as fuck, but there's not as much of that. It is majoritively solo, myself, where it's full nude, and also with other male creators, whatever the theme that we're going for. And they're usually fully nude as well. You won't get underwear pictures on my OnlyFans suggesting that I'm going to do more on Twitter and I've actually got my underwear or I'm not showing a lot on OnlyFans. It is full nude and it's majoritively solo, but a good 20% is with other male creators.
Yeah,
that I get on with.
You've left out a big chunk there because I know you do more than that. Because you just said I do pictures of myself, I do some scenes with guys, some scenes with women, but then you've got couples, and then you've, like, with me alone, we've done a foursome scene.
Yes. I thought you were asking of what you would see on my main wall, which I do try to provide every for this.
That's
so it's not just the pictures solo as well, because I do thematically do some like lifestyle type videos, all usually nude. I try to inject my own personality and humor into those as well. What would be a fun concept today? And I'm like stepping all over a house trying to like get the feather duster in all the nooks and crannies. I try and get it in the corners of the room as well. But yeah, I do a lot more than that. But those tend to be reserved for, as Scarlett said, those would be a higher price if I was going to do a full solo scene, like pleasuring myself, or if I was going to do a boy-girl video, or as you say, that really juicy content where we're doing the bisexual four-way.
Yeah, exactly. And as well, like your scenes as well, they're not little clips. They're like some people, like, oh, here's a new piece view. It's like a 5 minute like scene. Yours are like scenes, aren't they?
Yes, they're scenes.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done one that was under. I had someone that edited some stuff down to 7 minutes. So I was like, dude, you're missing out so much gold here. So I would feel horrified if 5 minutes was all I could do. But yeah, I said majoritively, I think you get a limit on the length of time something can go into a DM and OnlyFans. I thought it was about like 29, 30 minutes.
No, I was seeing our scene's 40.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And that's in DM, so.
Yeah, it is. I was thinking back in the day, I was 40, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm just putting my hoodie on, by the way. Sorry for the rustling.
No, you chilled.
Yeah, a little bit nippy over here.
I say my scenes tend to be like 25, 30 minutes long, but that one I do believe is like 40 minutes, but an awful lot goes on in that one.
Yeah, there's quite a lot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you get quite a lot on the wall, and then obviously there is that little bit extra. You have just started multiple pages, though, haven't you? Like different platforms and things. Is that?
Yes.
You get different things on different ones, or is it all just kind of?
Yeah, the sex Viking page. I was aware not everybody would be happy with, just like I don't want to say standard because I don't feel that it is standard content. But if we say a more vanilla boy-girl scene, I don't think a lot of my subscribers see that as premium content, or if they do say it's premium content, that's not the stuff that they're looking for. They would sooner see more solo stuff, more collaborations with the boys, and I didn't want to put up far too much of that on one page, so I created another one where they could see all that. It's a slightly higher price as far as the page, but those sex scenes are actually on the main wall. So I just thought that so the people who are into that are getting much more value for their money. But I try not to make sure that those scenes are also available on the other one. And then fans aren't feeling like cheated out, if that makes sense. Like, I could have got this cheaper here.
So these links, just to double check. So you've got two different links now, and there's one that's got more on the wall where it's straight sex vanilla-y stuff, and then one that's got a little bit more you with the guys, you kind of doing a bit edgier. Where are both of these links in? Like, are they in? Have your profiles got like a link tree or something? Where would they find each one?
Yeah, they're on my link tree. The individual pages are OnlyFans. The first primary one where I'm doing solo and collaborations with the boys and edgy PPVs. That one's Viking Will, and the other one is the Sex Viking after the OnlyFans / but they are all present within my link tree, and my link tree is Linktree WDBN, I think it is. I think those are the initials that I picked. Yeah, it's you put me on the spot to try and remember my link tree, but they are all available via my Instagram now.
Yeah, so what we'll do is I'll get your Instagram and your Twitter link if you want. And I'll pop it in the descriptions for wherever this is going to end up.
That's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, and then if they go from there, they'll be able to find your link tree, and then happy days.
That's great. Thanks so much.
Well, we've got loads of fan questions, most of which they just want to ask if you'll shag them, which we're going to avoid. I don't understand why people think to just ask that.
Yeah, it tends to be from someone that doesn't have a profile photo, so it's hard to give an honest response.
Oh, no, you'll be surprised. There's quite a lot here. Just people say, will you shag me? There's full face everything. But it's... so for the people listening, we ask people on the social medias, ask your questions for the interview, and it's just, will you shag me? And it's just like that's not what we're going for.
No, I was expecting something slightly more thought-provoking, but
yeah, exactly. So like, here's one. It's not even just the word philosophy. I can't even say it. Philosophical. Philosophical, that's it. Don't know why I couldn't even read then. Just that word.
Philosophical. That was there a question mark at the end?
No, just the word. Oh, well, so people, if you're listening now and you want to ask fan questions for people in future, go to the Desire Talks Instagram, the Desire Talks Twitter. You'll find them below. If not, you'll find them somewhere. They exist. But ask good questions, please. Okay, so let's dive in. So Poland Coed W, however you say his name, who would you have a bi threesome with? So that really, we're diving straight in with your sexuality. You can talk a little bit about that first, and then you can answer that question.
Okay, so I'm not opposed to going further than I've gone as far as actually having like penetrative sex with a guy or being blown, etc., or like fully blown, should we say? This is the thing. I would like to cover those areas in my personal life before I wanted to dive in terms of content, because you need to mark off the question in your mind: is this something that you're happy pursuing? Because obviously I'm open to trying anything twice, as Scarlett said, to make sure that she doesn't like it, just to make sure, okay, let's make certain on this, let's cover it. So I would want to cover that in my personal life, which I have not done so yet before I moved forward. In terms of I can't answer the creators at this point in time. I've got like a drafted few ideas in my mind. But at the same time, it's got to be based off your personal camaraderie, your chemistry. Do you get on? Because obviously that is a massive leap to take as far as how you perform, what you do in terms of your sexuality. So you have to make sure that that's crossed off, and there is absolutely no doubt before you pursue that, because just how they look is not enough. You have to really vibe as people and be comfortable and eager to go for that. I've got a very close friend who has performed in the adult industry, the more male side of the commercial adult industry. 15 years ago, he's a very openly pansexual man now, but he said that this is absolute paramount for something for him to do, either in his personal life or on camera. You have to make sure that you vibe, you have the chemistry before you pursue that. How the person looks is almost irrelevant.
Yeah, so you're quite similar to me on that. Is people like, who would your dream collab be? And I'm like, I don't really know. I don't idolize anyone based on looks. It tends to be with me. I have to get to know someone and just see if there's that click, you know?
Yep.
So
you might have noted that I didn't name a female creator either, because it's, again, with a three-way, you have to have a very tight chemistry between all individuals in that moment. So again, it's how you all vibe together.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
definitely.
I can't even name the female creator for that one.
Yeah. Okay, so now going a bit more celebrity-wise. Again, I'm when people ask me about this, I'm like, I can't answer because I'm all about personality.
Yeah.
Which actress would you propose to? So any actress in the world. Have you got any crushes?
Historically, I would say Sigourney Weaver, but probably Diane Kruger.
Who's that?
Diane Kruger, she was in Troy. She played Helen of Troy.
Oh, okay, and
if you ask me who Sigourney Weaver is, I might just like jump through the screen at you.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. We'll leave that.
Oh, then. Come on, aliens.
Yeah. That's why I said, okay, I'll leave it. I knew
oh, Jesus.
So, yeah, so you've changed your mind there. Is it?
Well, sorry, someone that I would propose to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just imagining the personalities that they may have, and it would vibe.
Okay, so what do you most enjoy about your job? And that's from Kaylee Westy.
Oh, hey Kaylee, how you doing? Yeah, I love Kaylee. We chat now and again. Let's see, what do I love most about my job? It's hard to put anything at the absolute pinnacle. I would probably say the relations that I've gained from it. The people that I've met, bear in mind that they're doing not the easiest professional path. Just being able to vibe with these people, know that they're going through similar experiences, because if there's anything comforting in the world, it's that this is not an easy job. This is not an easy career. If there's anything that balms doing a difficult path, it's knowing that someone understands, is there with you, and cares about you. And like, it's reciprocal as well, because you care about them, or at least I do. So it's been able to meet those like-minded individuals like yourself and meeting them, and it makes you feel that you're not in this alone and you can all do it together. But meeting those people exclusively from this industry, because they're some of the best people in my life.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's my favorite thing. Is I've made such good friends doing this.
Yes.
And you know, like whenever you've worked in a normal job, there's people in work who you just say, oh, they're such a dick. Yeah. If in this industry, there's people like that in your work, that
you don't have to see them.
Yeah, exactly. You just say, I just will not interact with that person.
That's it. And you definitely won't if it's from your partner, because he's very upfront and goes, mate, you're a fucking cunt, jog on.
Exactly.
So there's no danger of seeing them again.
No.
Not by unhappy accident or any other method.
Yeah, the law has been laid down with that.
Yes.
Okay, here's one that you obviously, I know you realize you look like this person. So Hiskagoin, however, that's an interesting username. When did you realize you look like Jason Momoa?
Oh my, oh god. all right. So I think Aquaman had just come out in January 2019. And obviously I knew who Jason Momoa was. I thought he was a really cool guy. But I went to Bradford with someone who I'd been on some dates with, like at the end of 2018. And we were going for some food in Bradford, like really early. It could have been like start February or so. Maybe later on in February, and Aquaman was still on the cinemas. And I didn't consider any of this. And then I basically got rugby tackled by this guy in Bradford. And he goes, you look like that Aquaman's you do. I was like, what? I was like, that Jason Mimosa? I was like, who are you talking about? I go, Aquaman, you look like Aquaman. I was like, okie dokie. And then I went to see it and I was like, okay, all right, maybe. I mean, I am white. He is, I believe he's Samoan. But, I know physically we're like similar statures, etc. We've got the long hair, we've got long dark hair, similar eyebrows, bushy beards, sort of face structure. But yeah, it was around about that time, and it's not left me since.
Yeah, it pretty much. Like if you do if there's any like Aquaman PR like publicity needed, like there you go. You just do a bit of
yeah. I'll be first in line. I'll put my name down.
You'll swing a trident round while windmilling your deck and be like, "Yay, Aquaman porn."
Yeah, literally, and that's a hard skill to perfect.
Yeah,
I remember when I saw you in Liverpool, I barely got out of my Airbnb before someone yelled after me, "Oh, yeah, Aquaman!" And I was like, "Here we go."
God.
I even tied my hair away.
Fair play. Okay, so this one is from Amber. I can't say a surname, Amber. Yeah, I'd say Amber. So it says, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, I wanted to be an illustrator.
Yeah.
I wanted to draw for a living, and I do have a bachelor's in illustration, which I acquired just before I turned 23. We had the recession at the time, so it didn't really work out. I just had my work sent back to me for half a year, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be a starving painter, sadly. So that particular dream didn't get fulfilled. But yeah, I always wanted to draw for a living, be a concept artist. Toward the end, I was thinking maybe a children's book illustrator. That would have been very, very nice, because I like drawing both like true to life type stuff, characters, sci-fi, fantasy. I love that, but I also like teddy bears and shit. So just drawing like cute stuff. So either would have suited me, but it was just a very difficult period to get that kind of work. So I never really picked it up from there. So
do you ever draw anymore? Do you just
no?
That's a shame.
Only a handful. I know, mate. Only a handful of times in like the last 13 years. Like 3 times I've tried, and I'm like, oh Jesus, I was better when I was 16. Put it down, leave it alone for another decade.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of you use it or lose it kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. Same goes for your dick. So
yeah. Big Sal, he has asked, has sex become a chore after being in the adult industry?
Not for me, because I don't do a lot of commercial type stuff, and I'm not like a rampant rabbit where I'm having it all day every day. Don't get me wrong, man. That was probably what some male performers would have had to have gone through historically, pre websites like Fansly, OnlyFans, Just Fans, all of those. But no, not for myself. I think if you do anything to the point where you become despondent and it was something that you loved, you're going to spoil it for yourself. But no. I've still got a very good mental association with sex. I've never had an addiction with it. I've never had a sour situation arise because of it, particularly in the industry. So I've still got a very healthy viewpoint when it comes to sex. It's not become a chore or anything that bothers me. Don't get me wrong, I've had some laboursome days when it's come to producing content, because you have to make sure that everything's done just so.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we need to get a pop shot on this particular day, or I've had two to do if it's been like the odd POV porn that I've done. But no. The short answer is no. But I just wanted to get a little bit of just a little bit of substance behind my answer.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think from when we just hung around chatted, you've got a healthy relationship with sex. You're like outside of the filming world. You've got a healthy appetite.
Yeah, it doesn't really change. That's the good thing about doing it under your own steam and by your own rules and your own business strategy, because it's literally an extension of it. And when you're putting yourself out of that and it's becoming falsified, and you're doing it with people that you might not necessarily have a connection with, etc. And I know you know what I'm talking about. That's probably where you're going to come across issues, because it's going to give you a negative connotation with sex, and that could extend to your personal life. And time and again, you'll have found people saying, "Look, I'm just on a break right now because this happened or this happened, and we're withdrawing. It's just going to be me and my partner. Not going to see other people. Not going to perform just because something's gone awry or awry. What's the word? I've never really
awry.
hit.
Yeah,
awry. Yeah, because of that. But that's never happened to me.
Good. This has been asked by about 10 different people. How big's your dick?
Subscribe, you'll find out.
Yeah, best answer you can say. Like here's one that's way it's worded. How big is your Thor hammer?
My Thor hammer, jeez.
The way that
I know who's asking that as well. How big is Thor's hammer? All right, well, watch the Avengers.
Okay, so here's one, and you'll dive in with an answer, and I'm like, yeah. So someone's here said, "Do you ever bottom?"
Do I? I have been pegged.
That's what I was thinking about. So someone was like, I thought you'd dive and go, I've never bottomed, I've never took a dick up the ass, but
how dare you?
Yeah, but that story you told me about when you tried pegging.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I couldn't release that one. No.
Your ass just did that whole, no, it's an exit. Didn't it?
Yes. And there was another situation where, bless them, they hadn't done it a lot, and the person that they'd done it with, their partner was a notorious bi guy, and he was just like a slip and slide. So she basically just stabbed it in, and I was like, what? No, not right now.
No,
it's a funny little clip that though, but nobody's going to see that.
Oh, it's never gone out.
No, it's not.
I thought you did. Well, I gave you a few pointers.
I said that's the thing. I always like to make sure everything that I put out is of the top quality, because I can't let something go out that people, wouldn't be happy with the overall delivery of the movie.
For those who are watching this on a platform where you can comment, so YouTube mainly. Yep. If you think Will should release a blooper reel, so this could be a private message one. If he ever released that clip as a blooper, would you want to see it? Just comment that below. That's all we're asking.
Okay.
Comment below. It's good for engagement, Will. That's why we're asking them. So they can give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe to all the channels, help the channel out. But yeah, I gave you a few pointers for that. So maybe in future, would you take another stab at it, or let them take a stab at it?
A stab at it. I like it. I really like that.
Yeah. Would you let them after you've had those pointers?
Sorry?
So after I've given you those pointers, because I did give you a few pointers, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
You started in the wrong position massively.
Yeah. So you suggested like laying on your side or something.
Yeah, you could try laying on your side, or you just going on top for control, because you went straight into doggy. Bent over. No. Well,
I'm new at this. Give me a break.
Yeah, exactly. But that's like the standard one that everyone just goes, yeah, when a guy tries things up his bum, that's the go-to. And it's like, no, that's the one you see on camera.
Yeah. That's after they've been worked up to it.
Yeah. They probably shot all the other scenes, then done that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, to be fair, I've actually pulled that out of the bag once.
No, I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Was that recently?
Definitely. So I'm trying to find this one question, and it will potentially hit a nerve a little bit because it's been asked a couple times, and Classy Guru is asked it. Is it true that you gay bait?
Well, that
Because I can
that
help you
is
answer
not.
this.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. This is the thing. I try to provide, and I feel I do provide what my subscribers want to see. So where would baiting come into play with that? I provide what people want.
This
If
is
they
what
want more from me, that's one thing. But if I can't provide like 10 people running into a room and cornholing me, because that's not something I want to do, that's fair enough. But I never said that I did that. I say what I do, and I'm very open about it. I'm very transparent. So baiting would mean implying I'm doing more than I actually am, and then disappointing people and taking their money. That is not something that I do.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts?
I've had this discussion quite a few times, and because there's like this guy on TikTok, and he goes around trying to find like profiles of guys who gay bait and tries to get them deleted. And they spent a lot of time and effort trying to build up those friends. He's like, no, you're a bunch of gay baiters. Come on, gay friends. Let's all kill the gay baiters. Let's take them down. And it's like, whoa. But my thing is those people like yourself, they're not actually gay baiting some of them. Some of them are. Someone's like, yeah, watch me take dick up the ass. And they don't actually do that. That's gay baiting. But but the people that it is, it's like, you call them a gay baiter because they're a straight guy who's got a gay fan base and they're fulfilling a need, a want. Yeah. So a lot of gay guys out there find straight guys very attractive and a massive turn on. They're filling a need. And there's the argument as well that then the other ones who, for example, other straight guys who do actually like wank off with other guys.
Yeah.
But then they go, that's gay baiting because they're not gay. And it's like, they're fulfilling a desire. Like, so the gay guy wants to watch the straight guy touch the other straight guy or gay guy's penis. That's
are they insinuating as straight creators we're not allowed to have gay fans?
Some people do, yeah, but not all. Some people, I think it depends. Some people use the term gay baiting like this guy does. Go, any straight person who tries to appeal to gay fans. So, for example,
is gay baiting.
Yeah, which I think is completely wrong. I think that's not gay baiting. But if you were turning around saying, watch us bum each other, and then you don't, that's gay baiting.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So my friend Lee, who's the husband of Teddy Bryce, you know both of them. Yeah. Lee's a wonderful photographer. And me and Teddy are going to work together on something in the near future, and Lee's going to film it. Lee said, when you do a fuck machine video, you can no longer be accused of gay baiting, which of course I have done.
Well, there you go.
yeah, exactly. Because that's quite an extreme thing to do, and it's being transparent. So I'm using a fuck machine. Well, yeah, are you using a fuck machine? Yes, I am. Okay. That's a pretty, big thing to do. So, yeah. And that's his opinion. And Lee is very, very gay.
Yeah, there you go. But it's not. It's like the whole, for example, like you've got stuff of you like kissing another guy, haven't you?
Yeah.
And that's not gay baiting because you actually doing a gay act. Do you know what I mean? It's how is that baiting? You're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you label it by itself as this is a gay act, some people have split opinion on it. Some people would call it gay, and some people would say, no, that's not gay, that's homoerotic. So be careful how you choose your words.
Yeah, okay. All right. Good.
Yeah,
good.
Some people may say that, but that's down to their definition. So going forward, I would not call that a gay experience if I was just kissing the guy, because this is the thing. I can do that quite comfortably if I've got the connection and the camaraderie with that particular person. It's usually been for content. You know, I've had a laugh on the night out after a few drinks and done it as well. And I've done it for a laugh. I was dating this older Italian lady. She was about mid-40s. She was a personal trainer, and all her friends were gay and whatnot. And she said something to like egg me on. So I kissed her gay friend, and she was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, shouldn't have tested me.
Yeah, because you are quite comfortable.
Yeah. I'm very comfortable with that.
So with yourself, there are people who do gay bait, but I wouldn't class you as a gay baiter based on you describe your videos and say, I do this. And if it's what you do, it's what you do, regardless of, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're stating
facts. I'm transparent. And plus, if I was going to put out any high level content where you would pay a premium to see like a full length 25, 30 minute, 40 minute video, there would also be a collage of images and probably, almost always a trailer showing what occurs within the video, you know, like, should we say some of the highlights so people know what they're going to be getting. It's not like I'm giving a juicy caption and leading people on. That is a completely antithesis of the way that I do my content. So I try to make sure that people are aware, because if they purchased it under pretenses or what they thought was going to happen, and that wasn't what they translated from the information, you're just going to upset people. So I try and be as transparent as possible, even if it means that not as many people buy it. I am happy with that, because I've been as transparent as possible, because they can see exactly what they're going to be getting. Yeah. And if they don't buy it, fine. If they do buy it, they're going to be happy.
Joe, I actually really like the fact, because I knew that would potentially touch a nerve asking that question, but I'm glad we did, because you've just made it clear to anyone who's listening that anything that's coming up that's even an unlockable piece of content, you are as like crystal clear as possible to say, here you go. Here's even some sample pictures and a little trailer. This is what you are getting. You can't go wrong with that.
No,
you know,
absolutely not.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see if we have a fun one from anyone other than are you straight by curious? Kind of lead to that. I think
I'm a very curious individual.
Heteroflexible. Do you like that term?
It's hard to put a label on. Majoritively, particularly in my romantic and my personal life, that would be straight. I do like women. Yeah. And content-wise, it has been majoritively. I'm not ruling out the fact that I would probably either in the personal life, and if it was successful in the personal life, and endeavour to do it with content as well. But I am open to that going forward. I think pansexual would be the best term, because pansexual means that you're attracted to the individual as opposed to genitalia as a whole. But of course, it blurs a little bit because you can be bisexual and be 90% and 10% with one to the other. You can be 50-50, you can be 60-40, you can be 50-50, but just have a little bit more particularity with your type when it comes to men or women. But the thing is, I would have to get on with the person. I'd have to find them physically attractive, have the energy, have the chemistry. But if that occurs within a male, and I don't feel disjointed by the acts that follow, then I would be 100% for it. But that presently has not happened, but I'm not saying that I would be opposed to it. So flexibility / pan would be the best way to describe me. Because, there's been points where I could go, you know what, maybe, but it's not been the right situation to actually, go forward. So, yeah, it's straight, but I'm not saying no.
Yeah, I think that from how I know you, I think that's quite bob on, isn't it, really?
Yeah. No, I think so. I think that's a very fair way to describe myself.
And this is you getting put on the spot quite a lot, to be fair.
What, that question for me?
Yeah.
I need to think of a shorter answer. I'll just say pan. That's probably better, but then I have to explain pansexuality to people.
Do you know what it is? It's people love labels, don't they?
They do, and bisexuals, sadly, have their own visibility day, which I think is wonderful, because I think people misunderstand and cheapen it, and some people are very dismissive of it, which I don't think is fair. And I would love to say I am bisexual, but if I'm not conducting sexual acts, either regularly or irregularly with men, I don't think it's fair of me to say that. But you know, the spirit of it, I would love for that to be the case and go just simply, yes, I'm bi, and be able to stand with and support everybody else I can support from whatever it is that I am. But I don't think it's fair for me to run around and say I'm a bisexual man. But of course, I do support all bisexuals, and I don't like the fact that their choices are dismissed by either homosexual or heterosexual individuals, with homosexuals saying, oh, but you still see women, so what's going on there? And heterosexuals being confused, oh, well, you must just be gay because you do see other men or you do see other women. I know you've had your struggles with it as well.
So I've thought of just a personal question from me that could be quite fun. Have you got any exciting things coming up this year?
Yes, I do. I'm going to do some extra work on Brazzers very shortly. I'm playing a security guard, so in no way am I going for a stereotype. I'm going to be working with some wonderful creators this year. One you already know of. I'm going to be working with Teddy Bryce. I'm not saying what we're doing quite just yet, because we're both keeping that close to the vest. But if you know Teddy Bryce, you know that he's got quite a range.
Yeah.
I'm hopefully going to be working with a couple of wonderful female creators that I very much get on with. One's out the country presently, and we're going to do some much more cutting edge, should we say, boy girl scenes. And I should be getting the band back together with Marshall Arkley, and we're going to be doing a hell of a lot of stuff this year as well.
Oh, cool. That'll be good to see.
Yeah, I would be really happy with that. And there's a potential trip on the cards. There's a potential trip on the cards to Spain where a lot of creators get together. But again, I can't say too much about it until it actually happens. But I'll discuss that more with yourself. And, you know, if
fill me in.
Yeah, I will do. Promise. So that's what I've got in mind right now. But it's a case of pushing onwards and upwards and spreading the net, so to speak.
Good. Yeah, I'm expecting to see loads from you this year. I mean, if you've pulled out what you've pulled out through all the lockdowns, and now things are starting to ease up a little bit. Yeah.
Well, pulling out's the safest way to be. But yeah.
All right, nice one. Any final things that you want to say to anyone, any fans, any friends you made through the industry? Do you want to give any shout outs or anything? Just go for it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is my Oscar speech. To everybody who supports my content and supports my work, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you've not checked me out yet, I encourage you, please take a look at least once. If what I do is something that you enjoy, please stick around. I aim to please. As far as shout outs, I'll have to go back to the start. I have to thank my wonderful primary partner who has supported me throughout. I have to thank my friend Hannah Blake and Marshall Arkley for encouraging me and giving me the start that they have, because much like Scarlett said, doing this was the best decision of my life thus far. And it's something that I endeavor to keep doubling my efforts with as I go, and to just make sure that I produce the best content possible, because I'm really, really happy in this particular industry and this particular career. And I also want to thank yourself for giving me the opportunity to have a platform with which to speak to people. And also, if you're considering getting in this industry, please reach out to one of us. Make sure that you stick within your comfort zones. Don't produce what people tell you to. Produce what is true to yourself and true to your heart. And just if anything seems like it's not for you, it's probably something you should go with, and don't move forward till you're 100%. Reach out to one of us and we'll steer you in the right direction. I would talk you out of it before I talk you into it, because it is not for everybody. But if you can cope with the social medias, cope with the pressure, cope with being able to work and build your brand and your network against a lot of naysayers and people willing to pull you down, if you can build up that mental fortitude, if you can keep your skin thick, then it could be a wonderful choice. But again, just make sure it's the right thing for you.
Absolutely love that. And I love that add-on at the end about the people considering getting into the industry. So thank you for coming on, Will. Again, just going to let everyone know that our socials, our links are below. Just find them, Instagrams, Twitters, whatnot. Find our link trees. Well, your link tree, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, keep an eye on us this year, especially Will, 'cause it sounds like he's got loads coming up. Will, it was a pleasure having you. Thanks for coming on. Right, see
Look
everyone.
forward to seeing you shortly. Look forward to shooting with you, my man.
Yeah, shoot with you again soon. Right, see you everyone. Bye.